might paint a picture of a clown.
Whoa there, friend, you might need to slow down.
Hey everybody, it's me, RunnerEye, and today we're going to be ranking more insane tweets from Drag Race Twitter because there are so many good tweets that I forgot to talk about the first time round. But before we get right into that, I want to give a special thanks to this video's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is the premium brand for men's grooming and hygiene products across the globe. And Manscaped was kind enough to send me the Perfect Package 4.0, so let's go check it out. So first off, let's talk about the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. Look at this beauty right here. This is Manscaped's 4th generation electric trimmer with advanced skin safe technology, which means that you'll get fewer nicks and cuts down in those places that you really do not want them. It's cordless and waterproof, so you can trim in the shower, which is super convenient. And it also comes with a wireless charging dock. The Perfect Package also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray. And for a limited time only, you get all of this and you get 2 extra free gifts with the super handy Shed Travel Bag and the super comfortable Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. So go to manscaped.com today to get 20% off plus free international shipping plus the 2 free gifts that I just mentioned when you use the promo code RunnerEye at checkout. Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right into the tier list. Boom! So let's get on to the first tweet. I wonder what it could be. Let's check right. So yes, it is the infamous Sasha Velour Twitter for We tweet. Now I'm choosing to not read this one out loud because I don't want that to exist on the internet forever. So I'm gonna get my imaginary French boyfriend Pierre to read it right now.
Master as my pathetic locked up. Beauty says if he be a good pup and eat from my dog Bolly unlock it.
There's so many parts that we could talk about here. There's the amazing content of this tweet. But also, and this is my favorite part of the tweet, she sent this from a Nintendo Wii. Nice. I'm just like imagining Sasha Velour having to like use the little shitty Wii remote control just to like type this out. But also, it would be a crime for me to talk about this tweet without mentioning that if you haven't gathered already from the Twitter for Wii, this is not a real tweet. I am sad to deliver the news. This is not real. She's talked about it in interviews. It's all fake.
The craziest rumor I ever heard about myself is actually a fake tweet of mine from like a Wii or something. And
that being said, I am okay with rewriting history to make this tweet real. If we all just pretend that this is real, it is real. So let's just lie. Let's gaslight Sasha Velour. She sent it from the Wii. She's lying if she said otherwise. Now you may be asking yourself if I'm gonna put a fake tweet in my tier list, and the answer to that is yes, I most certainly am. Are you kidding me? This is actually a real tweet. All of that stuff, that entire interview that I just showed, that was AI generated. Sasha Velour did tweet this. I don't know what you're talking. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. This is a real tweet, and it's going in the top tier. So next, we have this lovely little interaction between Lux Noir London and Alexis Michelle. So for context, Lux decided to quote tweet a clip of the fight of Candy Muse and Alexis Michelle fighting from All Stars 8, and in her tweet, she says, #I stand with Candy Muse. Now, Alexis, who's known for keeping things real, she's like not dramatic at all. She's very like even-tempered, level-headed, very rational. Alexis Michelle responds to Lux's tweet by saying, "Lux, this was not the tweet. My tears weren't about picking roles. There was a lot going on in my head, and that's not on Candy. But please, be a sister." And to this, Lux decides to tweet back one word which speaks 1,000 sentences. She says, "work." This tweet has big Katya party energy.
I need to go to the end of this competition. Party.
It's a solid tweet. I'm giving it a gold star. Bam. Look, if I like do this with my hand, it kind of is that like kind of a star? Do you see it? It's a gold star. It's a gold star. It's a thumb up. It's a check mark. It's that is wild. We only have 3 symbols for something that's good. Interesting. It's going in. Well done, mama. So next up, we have the queen of posting problematic tweets on Twitter. We have Miss Gia Gunn herself with the iconic, "So happy to see a trans person on an actual season of Drag Race. The doors I've opened." So for context for this tweet, you have to know that Season 14's cast had just been announced. There had been announced that there were 2 openly trans people on the show. Obviously, more came afterwards, but we're jumping back in time. This is a very intricate, like, art film. We're going back in time, so, like, pretend like we're back in, like, the... So being Gia Gunn, she thought that it was a good decision to go to Twitter and congratulate herself on opening doors for future trans contestants. However, what Gia Gunn failed to acknowledge in this tweet is that there were trans contestants on the show before her, and there were trans contestants on the show after her. So people saw this as Gia trying to take credit for all the trans representation on the show, with even Gottmik replying, "I love my fake season." But beyond the obvious, what people generally focus on, there is so much more subtext to this tweet which people fail to acknowledge. Like, what does she mean by an actual season of Drag Race? So she is implying that there's real seasons of Drag Race and that there's fake seasons of Drag Race. So how do we know which ones are real and which ones are fake? So by Gia Gunn's logic, she was the first and only trans contestant to be on the show prior to season 14, which means that every single season prior to season 6 and after season 6, which has a trans contestant on it, is not real. So from that logic, we can gather that seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 12, and 13 are all fake seasons, meaning that the actual seasons of Drag Race are 1, 6, 7, 8, 11, and 14. And what do you get when you add those numbers together? We get 47. If you minus 47 from the year that this tweet was tweeted, which is 2022, you get... No, it can't be. This tweet is iconic. It gets referenced literally all the time. Anytime Gia Gunn says or does anything, it's somewhere in the comments. So there is no other place for this tweet but the top tier. It is cursed in the best way possible. Hey, you should totally subscribe to my channel. I make lots of cool stuff, just like this video that you're watching now. And I've made this, and I've made this, and you can totally subscribe, and then I'll make more, and then it's actually a really cool thing. If you subscribe, I'll make more, and like that's a really cool relationship that we can have, so you should better fucking do it. So next up, we have this beautiful tweet by RuPaul. Now for context, RuPaul was facing a lot of criticism before he tweeted this tweet for actively trying to not cast trans people on the show, comparing this marginalized community, which would really benefit from positive representation on TV, to athletes taking performance-enhancing drugs in the Olympics. It is not the best. And you can even see that Gia Gunn responded to that statement from RuPaul being the voice of reason. And if Gia Gunn is the voice of reason, you know you're in the wrong. So then RuPaul decided to post this lovely statement on Twitter that says, "In the 10 years we've been casting Drag Race, the only thing we've ever screened for is charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And that will never change." And then he posted a picture of the trains flag underneath. No, you did not hear me wrong. Instead of posting a picture of the trans flag, RuPaul posted a picture of the trains flag. A flag for trains that exists, apparently. You may be asking, why do trains have a flag? I do not know. This is the first time and the only time I've ever seen this trains flag being used ever. Like, I literally think that this is the only point in history where this trains flag has ever been relevant, ever. The doors that RuPaul opened. It's not the most convincing vow of support for the trans community. The trans community, on the other hand, probably loved it. This is demonic. It's going in the bottom tier. So next up, in the tier list, we have capitalism. It is Kimchi's tweet to Trixie where she says, "People do change after all. I am not surprised, just disappointed. I will reveal the truth to everyone soon. Karma is a bitch, and so are you. At Trixie Mattel." Now, if you don't have any prior context to this tweet, you may be thinking like, whoa, this is like a pretty juicy tweet. I didn't know that Trixie and Kimchi had beef, and that is because they do not. They do not have beef with one another. This was all just a big PR stunt for some makeup palette that they were doing together, and that rubs me the wrong way. Is the line, "Karma is a bitch and so are you," funny? Like, yes, it is. I do get some amusement out of it. But for me, it just takes all the fun out of the tweet knowing that it's a hidden advertisement. This means nothing. Like, it's kind of funny, but I also like don't give a fuck at all, so it's going in the I'm bored tier. So next up, we have a lovely little exchange between Violet and Monet. These tweets were posted just after the first All-Star 7 All-Winner season fashion photo review was uploaded to the internet. And in that first episode, the internet went crazy because Violet booted Raja's look. And that was a big statement to boot probably the most like renowned, beloved fashion queen of the entire franchise. So as you can imagine, the internet went a bit wild, with Monet even tweeting, "Booting Raja? That's where I draw the line." Violet responds, "LOL, leave me alone." To which Monet responds, "Leave fashion alone. Will you teach me how you're so good at it?" Say what you want about Violet, but she did kind of chomp Monet here. Like, Monet was backed into a corner. There was nowhere to go here. To me, this is solid mid-tier. Like, I get a little chuckle out of it, but there's nothing more than a chuckle. So next up, we have probably the tweet which people were most sad that I forgot in the first video. We have this lovely tweet of Eureka feeling good about herself, and she says, "I feel so thick and sexy today. What about y'all?" To which a random person on Twitter responds, "I feel like shit, Eureka." This tweet is beloved. It gets referenced a decent amount. I know some other Drag Race girls have referenced it before. It's pretty good. I probably don't love it as much as most other people. It's just like missing a little bit of something for me, but it's pretty good. So we'll put it there. So next we have a tweet from Candy Muse about All-Stars 8. So Candy was feeling really excited about the upcoming season that she was on, All-Stars 8, and she says, "Mark my words, All-Stars 8 is giving 2, 3, 4, 5 vibes. Y'all just wait for this insane season. It's gonna be one of the best seasons in a very long time. Not even kidding. It's so gaggy. No one had anything to lose. We literally gave it our all." So cut to a couple of weeks later where All-Stars 8 officially begins airing, and it doesn't get the warmest reception. A lot of people, including myself, deem it as one of the lesser good All-Stars. In response to this negative reception from fans, Candy tweets out, "Let me get one thing straight with y'all. We all, as a cast, fan favorites or not, worked really hard last summer to put together an amazing season. Y'all want every damn season to give you that season 2 feel, and guess what? It's not going to." Like, I just love the confidence in that first tweet. Like, you could tell she was excited and she was hyped to see the season finally air. So to see it all come kind of crashing down in this second tweet, and even her scolding fans for using the same comparison that she used in the first tweet, is pretty funny. So I have no other choice but to put it in. Well done, mama. This is a funny tweet to me. I like it. Next up, we have Heidi versus Kahana, another All-Stars 8 one. Now this drama is just so bizarre and it's just so complex that we're not gonna get into it in depth here. But basically, the gist of it is that Kahana and Heidi were fighting about the Snatch Game ordeal that happened on All-Stars 8. Threats were made, receipts were exposed, and things were definitely not blown out of proportion.
When I tell you I'm coming for you, it is what it is. It's on site.
I mean, this fight needed to happen in public. You know, there was no way that this fight could have been settled over a nice, emotionally mature DM or something. Somewhere throughout this big mess of a fight, we got this beautiful tweet right here. "Girl Kahana, Crimson Chin Montrese. You live in Vegas. The house market is cheap. I could afford a house there. I'll fix my credit when you fix that drooping ass. I took a shit in a parking lot and it got more press than you, girl. Bye." Like, did Heidi eat Kahana here? Yes, she absolutely did. However, she ate her over like one of the most dumbest feuds I think I've seen in all of Drag Race Twitter ever. So when you take the broader view into consideration, like, how much of an eat was it really? It's like eating rat poison. It's like, yes, you most certainly did eat the rat poison, but did the rat poison need to be eaten to begin with? It's fine, it's mid-tier. I'm okay with it. I think the last part of the tweet is the funniest part. Everything else is kind of just meh. So next up, we have a really widely quoted one. We have the infamous BFA tweet. So this one is about Rosé and Denali from season 13. And this random Twitter user had some thoughts that they needed to get out into the universe. And they said, "Truly do not believe either of these people have an actual passion for drag. I do, however, believe that a few years ago they both resorted to slapping on wigs and weaponizing their BFAs in musical theater as a last-ditch grab at fame." Was this tweet tweeted ironically or seriously? We may never know. It's pretty funny, it gets quoted a lot. I think I even quoted it back in one of like my very first videos. It has impact, it has reach, people love it. I'll give it a well done mama tier. So next we have probably the biggest Twitter beef in Drag Race history. We have Davina DeCampo and Bag of Chips versus a random young girl on Twitter. So Megan bought a ticket to a show that both Davina and Baga were in. So she decides to tweet at both of them with some light banter that they had throughout the show. So she said, "Speaking of shit, shall I do a Davina DeCampo song? It's okay, I can say that, she's my sister. Love the love between Davina DeCampo and Bag of Chips." To which Davina responds with, "Not sure I needed to see this, Megan." And then Baga on top of that responds with, "Megan, really? All I've done is speak high of my friend all night as I'm in her hometown. Shit stirring. I love Davina. And it's all shits and giggles when it comes to someone who I care very dearly for. Disappointed." So already pretty wild, as is, but it further goes on. Megan doesn't understand that they are actually pissed off at her and she thinks that it's all just light fun and jokes. So she says, "Just wanted you to be aware of the kind of company you keep. I am aware to fill in any future Frock Destroyer gigs if necessary." To which Davina responds with, "Megan, this is disgusting. There is a difference between a show and a relationship. Baga and I are great mates, and she is more than welcome to poke fun at me. You know nothing." And then Megan finally realizes that Davina was being serious, and she's very apologetic. And many people don't actually know this, but this Megan grew up to become Megan Thee Stallion. Like, imagine going to your favorite drag queen's show, and you tweet at them in order to get their attention because you want their validation. You just want them to recognize your existence, and you get met with this. It's great, but it's pretty demonic, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put it in the cursed in a bad way, out of respect for Megan. So next, we have one of the most life-changing tweets of all time. So this is a tweet from 2018, right before the announcement of the All Stars 4 cast. And Derek says, hashtag Derek Barry for All Stars 4. Oh my God. Who did this? And now that she's brought up the question, who did start the hashtag? Let's go look. This tweet is amazing. I think that Derek is in on the joke. I think that she knew when she was posting this that no one had been wanting her for All Stars 4. I think that she's just the mastermind and she's pulling the strings and you guys are all of her silly little puppets because she's a genius. She is a genius. This is literally comedic genius. I love it so much. It is probably my favorite tweet that we've seen here today. So that's the tier list. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps out the channel. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram. I also made a TikTok. Whoa! If you want to go check out any of those. Also, fun fact, the channel has just reached its 1 year anniversary. I've been doing this for 1 year, which is crazy. Thank you so much to anyone who has been watching from the beginning, and thank you so much to people who have found me since then. I love making every single part of these videos, so knowing that other people are on the receiving end and like watching them is just amazing to me. It's amazing, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy 1 year anniversary, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.